Have you ever played a game so much that it stopped being fun? That's what happened to me. Originally, I was planning to make a Dying Light 2 video, but to explain what I feel about a Dying Light, I must explain what is the root cause. Far Cry 3 and Dying Light gave me a new perspective in first-person games. This video isn't about me dissing on both Far Cry and Dying Light. I am here to talk about my personal experience. With that said, I love Dying Light. The parkour, the decapitation, the limb chopping, the nighttime chases, all of it. There is a thrill to it. Like you are one step ahead of death, sprinting across rooftops, turning chaos into momentum. But here's the thing, I'm done, burned out. Not because Dying Light got worse, not because zombies stopped being scary, but because I've seen the bone beneath the skin. And I blame Far Cry 3, not out of malice. I don't hate Far Cry 3. In fact, I used to love it. I played the hell out of Far Cry 3, got obsessed with that damn island. And the sad part, I think I'm partly to blame. Let's rewind to 2016. My final year exams were over. I had an entire month to myself. No pressure, no stress, just me and my PC. I picked up Far Cry 3 and Dying Light around the same time. It was a golden age for me as a gamer. Far Cry 3 instantly hooked me. The open world, the beautiful island, the gunplay, pure madness. And I loved every second of it. I played Far Cry 3 in every way imaginable. Stealth, gun blazing, side missions, hunting, relic hunting. Yeah, I even tried collecting all the statues to complete the tattoo. Oh, my bad. It's the tatau.
Tatau. The tatau on your arm.
I cared about the world. I cared about the characters. Even the lore behind that engraved knife. I was all in. Let's be real. We have all seen videos from Stealth Gamer BR and Clockner about how creative you can be with Far Cry games mechanics. But the repetition was behind under the fun at first. The more I replayed the game, the more I noticed it. Tower climbing, over and over. You don't even get to use the full map unless you climb those towers. Hunting was essential for crafting gear, but you had to reveal the area first. And to do that, more tower climbing. Back then, I didn't notice it because I was invested. But now that I look back, that formula was already wearing thin, even if I didn't want to admit it. Ask anyone about Far Cry 3. You will get the same three responses. 1. Vaas is the best villain. 2. The weed burning mission was wild. And 3. They say Tatau in that fake island accent. The problem is, Ubisoft recycled that tower climbing formula across all their franchises. In Assassin's Creed, it made sense. Climbing a viewpoint was to scout an area because the character didn't have a map. The map was just an Animus program that is used to navigate the simulated area. But in Far Cry 3, you are already given a map from the very beginning. So why climb the towers to unlock the sections of it? Why hide the basic navigation tool behind a repeated task? Why am I climbing the towers to reveal stuff that supposedly already known? I'll say this though, the gunplay, solid, better than Far Cry 2, where your guns would jam mid-fight. And the malaria. I never finished that one. Why? Because I feel nausea when I play that game. You guys must have seen that warning message when you boot up a game. You know the ones. Some lights may cause nausea in a small percentage of people. Yeah, I fall into that small percentage. Far Cry 2 made me feel like the protagonist and I both had malaria. If I wanted to, I could have just sprint through the game. Main missions only. No side quest, no extra fluff. Just run the story. Kill what's in front of me and get to the end. And that's what exactly I did in my first playthrough. But here's the catch. I was weak, under-equipped, no upgrades, no crafted boosters, barely any extra pouches. And it shows. You start feeling the pressure. Enemies hit harder. You run out of medkits faster. You can't carry anymore because the inventory always full. It's not about survival at that point. It's just punishment for skipping the side content. Sure, the game tells you that you are free to do whatever you want, but behind the scene, it keeps scores. And if you don't play its way, if you don't hunt, craft, climb, gather, detour, then it kneecaps you quietly, subtly, until you either grind or suffer. And I get it. That's how you build your character. That's how progression works. But it's tedious. Not because it's hard, but because it's predictable. Because I've done it before. Rinse and repeat. Then there was Buck, that guy, that pervy dude, and that long dragged out knife mission. I couldn't even skip the cutscene. On my first playthrough, it was fine. But on repeated runs, I couldn't care less about that engraved knife or its history. And they make me go through 4 or 5 times. Same grindy sequence, the same backstory you already know. Why? When Far Cry 5 launched, I was excited. There was this rumor floating around, no more tower climbing. I was relieved. Finally, a new approach. And then when I finished the prologue, the first thing they made me do is climb a tower. Even the NPC on the radio said, "Don't worry, you don't have to climb any more towers after this."
I know what you're thinking, and no. I ain't gonna have you climbing towers all over the county for me, so don't worry.
Then why are you making me climb it now? Different game, same trick, that was it. I was done with Far Cry. I swore, never again. Well, I must give credit where credit is due. Far Cry 5 impressed me. I gotta admit, it was a blast, entertaining, visually amazing. Combat, airplane, action, those are great. And naturally, when Far Cry New Dawn came out a year later, my curiosity got the better of me. Big mistake. That game introduced color-coded rarity system and RPG stats. White, blue, purple, golden. Suddenly, I'm not playing Far Cry. I'm playing Destiny. I like playing stealthily. I use sniper rifles. But in New Dawn, if you have a white tier sniper rifle and the enemy is wearing a purple tier helmet, even a headshot won't kill them. Like, what the hell? This guy's helmet has a 4 health bar of its own. Really? Hey, if I shoot a person in the head with a sniper rifle right on the exposed part of the skull, despite them wearing a helmet, I expect them to go down, not get saved by some level 4 health bar nonsense. Let me elaborate. The headshot with a low tier weapon on a high tier enemy often will not result in instant kill. The game's damage system is heavily influenced by the weapon's rarity and the enemy's tier. Enemies, particularly the elites or the heavies, have a significant health pool that is not instantly depleted by a headshot from a weaker end weapon, which can feel illogical and frustrating. The game's system prioritizes the RPG stats over a realistic one-shot, one-kill gameplay that stealthy players like me typically enjoy in the series. Listen, I get it. New Dawn introduced a new type of system, which deviates from the previous grounded feel of the game. If back then I could see this game as an RPG like Witcher or Cyberpunk, maybe I would appreciate it more. The problem wasn't necessarily the RPG system itself, but its application in a franchise that had previously established a very different set of rules. At that point, I lost all interest. I'm done with Far Cry. For good. Then came Dying Light. It was different. The parkour, the zombie dismemberment, the horror atmosphere, the chase at night, volatiles. Man, the volatiles. I remember inviting some friends over. I was home alone. I wanted to show them this new zombie game. We were all terrified. One roar from a volatile, and we were shouting and laughing like kids. That was pure horror. That was fun. The weapons feel impactful. Blunt force trauma that sent bone cracking in X-ray slow-mo. Sharp blade cleaving off limbs. I was all in. Dying Light started opening when I got the grappling hook. The Just Cause style zipping was an interesting feature. And I whenever started a new game, I always try to get my hands on the grappling hook first before doing any main quest. Meaning already 10 to 15 hours in, probably. You might say, but doesn't Dying Light also have rarity weapons too? Yeah, it does. When you are low level, you get blunt weapons. And as you progress and level up, you get blade weapons, which was distinguishable. So I never had any kind of hindrance. In Dying Light, the rarity and the level of weapons determine its damage and durability. But they didn't create artificial bullet sponges. A good high-level blade could still one-shot weaker zombies and was always effective. The progression from blunt to bladed weapon was a natural and satisfying progression that made you feel powerful. Cutting through zombies with sharp weapons, smashing them with blunt ones, you could feel the impact. That was satisfying. And of course, the parkour. The movement, the running, the climbing. But then the climbing. There was it again. The exact feeling I had while playing Far Cry 3. The same climbing fatigue. Deja vu. Arias, that warlord guy in the game, sends you to climb towers to re-establish communication twice. And when I got to those missions, it all came rushing back. That same formula, that same Ubisoftification design, just reskinned. And I was like, oh hell no! At least the tower climbing in Dying Light wasn't tied to unlocking the map. But it still hit the same nerve. In Dying Light, the game had 3 different skill trees: parkour, combat, and survivor. So the more you fight, the more you free run, and the more you collect airdrops, you grow stronger. Meaning there is a huge incentive to play and engage with its system to level up faster. So it all comes down to just one mechanic: climbing. That ruined the game. Well, not exactly. During the first few hours, all you gotta do is climb. Like I said earlier, it's optional, but you can skip it. But by not doing any side activity, I'll be in a bad position later in the game. But to be fair, part of the reason was technical. And as if that wasn't bad enough, I had a motherboard issue back then. My PC would randomly crash with a blue screen of death mid-mission, corrupting my save file. I was forced to start the game from the beginning. Not because I wanted to, because I had to. That happened multiple times. That kind of repetition breaks something inside you. The excitement becomes a routine, and the routine becomes a chore. This is a very real and unfortunate technical factor that contributed to my overall negative experience. I'll say this one last time. I had a great time with Far Cry games and Dying Light. Some of the best moments of my gaming life. But I don't want to play them again. Not because they are bad, not because they failed, but because I'm tired. It's on me. I played them too much, too many runs, too many hours. I squeezed every drop of enjoyment out of them. But back then, I was carefree. I had nothing but time. And those memories, they're still beautiful. I'm grateful, but I'm done. Let me know if you ever burned yourself out in a game that you used to love. Drop your story in the comments. And if you stuck around till the end, hey, thanks. Sometimes it's not just about the game, It's about the time in your life that the game came into. And for me, that was the best time of my life. So if you like what you saw, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you later. Peace.